What's going down, people? How you doing? TK coming at you. Really been studying my butt off, focusing, redirecting, getting into the fundamentals, the core development of God's self. Because you know what? A lot of people do talk. Very few people show that progress. Very few people show that they are committed to the system. So I wanted to get into some of the fundamentals of character development and elevating your consciousness to the point where your God self becomes more of your everyday self. Because you hear people within the conscious community say things like, I'm a God, or become a God, but no one really talks about the fundamental process that it takes to go back to oneness. And that's what I've been studying and truly working on from a self perspective. Because we can acknowledge, and a lot of people from a religious foundation do acknowledge, that there's a universal field, there's a oneness that we all come from. So to go back to oneness and to tap into the universal power, that should be your goal, your evolutionary goal while you're here on this planet. Focusing on becoming more of a still person and truly getting into the essence of universal consciousness puts you on a plateau where your energy levels are now spinning and rotating on a different level. And really, you want to set yourself apart. There's so many people relegated to slavery and kept in a box that you really don't want to exist on that low vibrational rate. So elevating your consciousness is not about reading books and throwing up stuff that you memorize for all of these pro-black people that call themselves conscious. Elevating your consciousness is truly about getting back to the source and putting your mindset in the mindset of collective consciousness or collective good, positive intent, pure intent. And like I said, people don't get into the process. So, you know, I talked about the different things that I'm doing in terms of detox, but those are all of the what you might want to call holopathic, already talked about things that certain people want to dive over the cliff and advocate. But I try to come at it from a realist standpoint because I don't play no games. And I really try to come at it from an effective standpoint for everyday human being that's just trying to be a better human being, add to life and not take away from life. So the meditation thing doesn't work for me. I'm not in a Buddhist position and constantly, you know what I'm saying, sitting there chanting. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? And that's not most people. So what I've got into, and mainly through situations, negative situations or life situations, have put me where I just go to the stillness. And having forced to be in that situation, I've always prayed and meditated to myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's my method. My method is, when it's chaotic outside, I stand still. And my practice is to be able to go back to that stillness no matter what situation I'm in. There's a famous quote or a famous person who quoted that being your guide, but I'm going to leave that on the table. So that's what I encourage you guys to do. I encourage you to go into stillness no matter what your environment. And let stillness be your guide, because that's what I'm getting in the practice of. In my next evolution, and what I'm really starting to work on is creative visualization. And I hinted on this in a lot of different Facebook posts because a lot of people share self. So I'm crib noting Facebook as I study because that's contrary to the bullshit most people share. And hopefully some people will walk this lonely island with me. But I really been going back to the think about yourself as a child before the Matrix broke you and took away your creative spirit, took away your creative nature. You know, children are naturally able to just dive into a world of their own. But that is the spark of manifestation. Focused human intent, along with uninterrupted human emotion, okay, and creative visualization. Those three together means that you transcend what you want visually, and then you put emotion into it because you believe the visualization, and then that charged emotion with the visualization gets sent out your antenna, and then the universe receives that energy and boomerangs it back to you with amplification. And in the amplification of that boomerang, manifestation happens. So I'm in the practice, and I'm encouraging you guys to get into the practice, and that's what this whole video was about, is the methodologies. Creative visualization with focused human intent and emotional belief. Now, it is something you have to get used to, and it's something you have to go back to, because, you know what I mean, when we were children, we did it naturally. You know, you outside with your friends and you just having a good time, and, you know, your creative imagination was active, and it was normal. It was normal for children to be creative and to be imaginative. It's the Matrix that beats it out of adults, because that's the spark. The initial fire that lights the spark is creative visualization with focused human intent, with emotional belief. So think about that and play it back in your mind. Just go back to when you was little. Go back to that playground scene. Relive that situation when you was just having a good time with your friends and y'all was outside just creatively imagining things. And it was okay. It was normal. Go back to that bliss. Go back to that creativity and start using your creative mind to visualize what you want to create. And put some focused human intent along with some emotional belief into that visualization. Because when you were 5, it was easy. And it was just what children did.